Hi there, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed what I thought was a pretty healthy lunch out there. I often go to these events and you sort of look forward to the lunch and it's not always that healthy. So wellbeing event, good job Reba, putting on a nice healthy lunch. Thank you very much. So I'm really excited to be here today. From a really early age, when my parents used to ask me, what do you want to do? I said I want to help people. And so I find myself here today focused on rewards, but ultimately I have the opportunity to actually really make a difference to people's lives. And so do each and every one of you here today, because you're here to learn more about wellbeing opportunities for your organisations, which ultimately means you've got the opportunity to make that difference. So at Cisco, as Debbie said earlier, it's not our technology that has the edge, it is our people. And what we're trying to do is focus on bringing out the best of humanity in the world at Cisco and this digitised world that we're living in today. And so when we go out on our Cisco Pavelka tours, listening to our people about what's going on, these are some of the things that we start to hear. And I'm not sure whether any of these things resonate with some of you, but they certainly do with me, and they have done with me. But I feel really, really energetic and excited about the opportunity that we've all got to make a difference. And actually, I wake up every day looking forward to the job I'm going to do, not just because I feel I can bring my whole self to work, but also because we can actually truly make a difference. And we have, which is exciting to see. And I want to talk to you about what we've done around using our technology to actually bring it to life for our employees. And just to let you know, I don't just focus on the UK, I focus on the whole EMEAR region, which is around 65 different countries with about 17,500 employees. So to get across that many different countries, cultures, people, individuals, is pretty tough to do, but I feel like that we've done it. And I hope there's going to be some things here that you can take away and think about what you can do in your organisations as well. So when we go on these learning tours, and sometimes we go on site and actually settle in on the ground with the people, and sometimes we do them over our technology, so either through Cisco WebEx or Cisco Telepresence, and we ask people, we ask them, what is it that inhibits you to be successful? What are the biggest obstacles that you face to bringing true health to your life? And then we spend time with leaders as well, because it's really important to hear from them about what's going on for their people as well. And we kind of ask them, what do you do to role model healthy behaviours for your team? And what do you do to bring well-being into your team meetings as well? So these are things that I know are really important. We have to deal with some of these issues that are going on. So we started with the Cisco Pavelka Wellbeing Initiative. It was 3 years ago now that an employee, she was at home recovering from a serious heart surgery operation, and she was watching television. And she saw this guy, Jesse Pavelka, come onto the TV. He's done a number of TV shows. He's a health and wellbeing expert. And ultimately, he was on a show helping people transform their lives. And as she's lying there, she's thinking, what can we do in Cisco? I wonder if we can get this guy in to come and work with us. So she had this rather interesting idea. She took it to our HR director at the time and said, you know, do you think we might be able to get this guy in to come and work with us in Cisco to use our fabulous technology that we have to bring well-being to life? Because right now, we've got a culture where technology is bringing some of us down, and we really need to think about switching that and turning it all around. And so he said, well, yeah, Sheila will deal with that, so go and see her and see what she can do about it. And actually, I'd been trying to find something that was going to really make a difference to people's lives, because all of the other wellbeing programs we've got, employee assistance program, your Babylon Healthcare, all of these things are fabulous and they're necessities to have. But I wanted to find something that is simple, that's inclusive, and that can resonate with every single person in our organisation. And what that meant is realising that every single person in this room has got different things going on in your lives that you need to focus on. And that means all of our organisation, all of the people there have got different things going on in their lives that they need to figure out how they can actually feel great every single day, not just at work to deliver results, but at home. Because ultimately those boundaries are no longer there. We have to figure out how we integrate everything in our life and get balance. So we do use our technology, and we are very fortunate with what we have in Cisco, but there's so much more out there, as we know, and we've talked about and we've seen today, that people can use to bring this to life. We want to create this vibrant and healthy workforce where people feel like they're supported by their management and leaders at Cisco as well. We want people to be their best, and we want to really think about how you can bring communities together to motivate and inspire each other to live better lives. And we know, and we hear it a lot, but ultimately increased well-being will lead to better work days. So, what's the Cisco Pavelka Wellbeing Initiative all about? I know some of you may have heard this before when I've spoken before, but ultimately I want to remind people it is really simple and it's really easy to get hold of. Each and every single one of us has 24 hours in our day to make choices. And it's nobody else who decides what those things are that we're going to do. It is us, ultimately. So what this is about is focusing on 4 areas of our life that we do every single day and creating small, sustainable changes to really feel great and feel our best we possibly can in every single moment. So when you think about eat and sweat, people probably think, oh yeah, that's about food and exercise, and yes, we've got that. And often when we go to visit these countries, they say to us, well, you don't really need to come out here because we know how to eat well, we know how to exercise. In fact, we went to Sweden recently, and they are a very healthy nation. But we said to them that the slide where all these things pop up with things that we hear that people are facing challenges, we said to them, do you see any of this? And they said yes. And we said, well, let us come out there and let us talk to you. Because what's important about these 4 elements is these 2, the think and the connect element. Because what the think and connect element are all about is how you focus your mind power. We hear about how our brain can now be changed. We can rewire things to make better choices. Stress might have been a negative word in the past, but it's actually quite positive. Because once you know you're feeling stressed, you can do something about it. So the think element is all about how you pay attention, how you're aware of every single decision you make. When you're out there looking at the wonderful food, the choices that you make are your own. And you decide, what are the things that I'm going to put into my body right now to fuel me, to give energy, to get me going throughout the day. So when we think about sweat, things might pop up into the mind around working out in the gym and, really killing yourself and going for those marathons or things like that. But it's not about that. It's getting up. So I love what they've done here at this event because ultimately we're moving around quite a lot. You've got short, sharp presentations that are going on and you can get up and move around. It makes such a difference to changing the way that your mind is thinking. It gives you a different perspective on what you're going into. And the connect element is just beautiful because basically what that is about is how you can connect more with yourself, give time back to yourself so you can be better for those people around you, again, and at work, but most importantly at home. But it's also about how you connect with another person. It's about how you connect with a group. So how do you bring people together? And it's how you connect to something greater than yourself. And this can be like nature. So when you're going through a really difficult time and there's tough things going on at work, you can put things into perspective and really think about, okay, so actually there are things that are much bigger than me out here that I can actually focus on this, take time, get outside, come back to it, and your mind will be in a much stronger place. So I want to show you some of the things that we're doing at Cisco, and a lot of it is focused on the technology and how we bring it to life for people. So we have an online platform, of course. There's an online portal where people can go. But the most important thing about this is not just somewhere where you go for the tips, tricks, tools, resources, but it's somewhere where you go to engage. And you engage for yourself, so you're able to create your own workouts and select the videos you want to use. You can download a podcast and listen to a 2-minute breathing exercise. But also you can connect with other people and you can share your updates. So we've got a feature in there where people go off, they can use their mobile phone as well to do this, but you can go for your run, you can take a quick picture, post it up on here, and other people will see it. They'll comment on it. And what that does is it inspires and motivates other people to want to get involved, which is what this is all about. The other thing we have on here is something called the feel-good score. Now, yes, of course, this is a way for us to actually gather some data about how people are doing in their well-being, and we can track it over time. But ultimately, whenever you go in and you have to score yourself in each of these 4 areas, it makes you think about where you're at. And if you go in and you think, okay, I reflect, I actually look like I didn't eat very well today or over the last week. When you put yourself down at a 7, there's one choice you've got to make. You can make that better. So it enables people to pay attention to where they're at in each of the 4 elements and make good choices moving forward. It's really important to kind of have good communication, and this is really, really hard. I've certainly struggled with it. So we do engage really well with our marketing and our communications team in Cisco, and it's important to have a comms plan. We do use our technology. You can see here, Jesse's in the middle there. He has his own telepresence unit in his home office in LA, and he connects into our people, either on a one-to-one basis or a one-to-many. We run monthly webinars on a regular basis, and we get really good turnout for those. And the reason why we get good turnout is because Jesse is engaging with employees who are going on the webinar to share their story. People really, really value the fact of others showing vulnerability. It creates an environment of trust for people to share more about what's going on for them. And when they share their story, ultimately the audience can resonate with what's going on. They reflect and they think about their own life and what are the things that they can do to make things better. These are our regular newsletters that we send out as well, and again, they connect you directly back into the house. The other thing that we do, and actually from an effective communication point, I just want to raise the fact that our CEO this month sent out a communication to all employees at Cisco, and it was about prioritising mental health. And if that's not a message for people to be able to speak out more and share their journey and share their story, then I don't know what is. So now we're all there, we're leveraging all of the great programs that we already have to help people think about how they can speak out more and share their stories. When you get the commitment of senior leadership, it really helps. That's not the way that I started, because I felt like it's really important to build it from the bottom up and help people resonate with what it is that they need to change in their lives, but then make sure that they feel like they've got the support of their managers as well along the way. Mindful meetings. So it's interesting, again, as we go on these tours, what we find is there's actually pockets of the well-being world coming to life already. And what we see is employees have decided to get people together in a room. They get their app with a nice breathing app on it. They put it in the middle of the room. They have a circle around each other, and they do their meditation, their mindfulness session. None of it's organised by HR. It's just employees who are interested in this. And that's what we love to see. We have this guy in the middle here. He does yoga sessions. None of it is a cost to the employees who go along to it. He wants to do it. And what he also does is he shares it over the technology that we have so that people can do it at home, because we have a very flexible workforce and we have people working from many different locations. But he connects it up so people can see what's going on and they can do their own yoga practice from wherever they are. We've tried to make sure the environment is kind of set up so you can actually feel great while you're doing these things as well. So we work very closely with our facilities team that I'll come to in a moment. And what I absolutely loved is when we went to South Africa just recently, and we spent some time with the Africa employees. And we met with people in Johannesburg, but we also connected to make sure that we covered all of our Africa locations, because we can't get to everywhere, but we needed to make sure that we really paid attention to the great things they're doing. And we did some stretching exercises, and you can see that the power of technology allows you to kind of enable this to happen any place, anywhere. So our Nigeria colleagues, it was just amazing, because we did a few stretching exercises and we kind of said to them, you can do this like, you know, anytime at your desk. And one of the guys there, he said to us, I just want to say to you, thank you so much for bringing Cisco Pavelka into my life. It has literally changed my world. And that's without us even having gone to meet this guy. I didn't know him at all, but he's just hugely thankful of the opportunity and the content that we're bringing to him to be able to bring it into his life and his family's life as well. It's really important for us to also connect to existing events. And what I'm really most proud of at Cisco is how we've brought the topic of people and culture into every single business meeting. Every leader will now have this on their agenda. And it can be anything from kicking off the meeting with a 2-minute breathing exercise. We have this fabulous Cisco TV technology which allows us to connect to everyone across the world. You can watch it on any device. And we actually ran a session for 70,000 employees where we did a mindfulness practice. And it was pretty astonishing to see on each of the TV screens that you have up there, people literally with their eyes shut, grounded, and doing the 2-minute breathing exercise. It was fabulous to see it actually happening live across so many different locations. So it's really important, I think, to help the leaders understand that this needs to be on their agendas. How can they bring it into their team meetings? And how can they truly bring it to life for their people? Because that's what you have to do. It's like the day-to-day life. How do you bring it into everything that they're doing? So one of the other things we do is connect with our corporate social responsibility areas. And this is a really important topic for us. I mean, what more to help your well-being than to go out into the community and actually help other people? It really brings things to life. So we have team building opportunities to do these CSR activities. And then we also had Jessie recently, Christmas time, we connect in over telepresence to hospitals. And we talk to children there who literally, they are in very serious conditions. And they obviously don't get an opportunity to spend Christmas at home. So what we do is we have various leaders, and also Jessie got involved. They dress up as Santa, and employees are able to donate gifts to those hospitals that we give out to them at that time. It is just wonderful to see the faces where these children are receiving the gifts. Again, just, you know, the power of technology is amazing. We also do a lot for girls in technology. And again, we spent some time with these girls talking about what does well-being mean for them. And I was just so inspired and delighted to see them asking more questions than you'd get in a room of adults actually about well-being. It was really nice to see the engagement they had, and obviously the importance that health has on them at that early age. When we go on site, we often do some exercise activities. We do workouts. In Israel recently, we again teamed up with a charity that looks after children with disabilities. And we raised money, and we did a walk, a run for those that people wanted to do the run. And we raised a lot of money, and we got to hear all about the charity when we went out there. We do filming with employees and teams who volunteer, who actually want to go on a journey for the 4 elements. And one of the ladies that started off doing this, she was in a really difficult place. She was doing a fabulous job at work and couldn't have been doing better. But her family life was really suffering. And in fact, she got a video from her colleagues saying what a fabulous job she'd done. And she showed it to her family, and her 13-year-old daughter looked at her and said, "Well, you're not like that at home, Mum." Now, you can imagine that was a pretty big turning point for her to say, I've got to do something about this. So she had an opportunity to work with Jessie over a 6-month period, create a goal that she wanted to achieve, and really turn her life around. I'm delighted to say that she is inspiring and motivating people today like never before. She is happier than she's ever been. And she's also just recently done a TED Talk as well, talking about her journey. So it's pretty significant what we've been able to do for people. Social media is really important to us because we want people to see externally what we're doing and show people what a great place to work Cisco is. A lot of people talked about challenges, and I think they can sometimes be one-off programs that you can run, but actually, when you bring them into the workplace regularly, it does transform the way people think about moving. And when we do our challenge, we connect it to being able to track gardening, walking, yoga, Pilates, and you transfer those into points, which enables you to be part of the challenge. In the most recent 30-day sweat challenge we did, I think we had members, 2,000 participants across 40 different countries, and we walked the world 4 times, so that was pretty cool. And we actually do virtual workouts as well. So it's all of this stuff is really important to bring it to life, but you can't do it without having a healthy workplace environment. So you do have to really connect with your facilities teams to make sure you have the things on site to really make a difference for people. I guess a presentation wouldn't be anything without a few statistics here, but I have to say what I'm probably most proud of is winning the awards just recently with the REBA team, because it wasn't just about winning those awards for me, it was about winning it for our company so that the leaders and stakeholders can see what a difference we are making in the workplace for our people. Thank you very much for listening. And I'd love you to think about a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy life for you so that you can bring it to your people.